I'm leaving Junction, Texas. I'm heading southbound on Highway 83, and I'm going to pick up Interstate 10 going eastbound. Now, I'm heading to San Antonio. There's no diversion off of Interstate 10, and it takes you through hill country. It's very nice out and everything. It's the roads don't really get congested here until you get around San Antonio. There was some construction zones just west of San Antonio, and I'm not hitting the hills yet, but you'll see them as I get further down the road. Now here's where they cut through some of the rock in hill country here, and you can see off in the distance it's hilly. Pretty much I'm going to go downhill. Now there are some uphill portions, but primarily from where I am, it's a downhill ride. And I do stop off at the rest area. I'm not in a rush. This is more towards the afternoon. I had started my journey off in Big Spring, Texas. And I had taken the scenic way instead of taking all interstates. But now I'm on the interstates. I'm heading home from my journey of going to Vegas and back, and I saw some things along the way, and this is what to expect out in the out here in Texas. And not much going on, and like I said before, the further east I go, the greener we'll get. But we don't really have that many tall trees. In East Texas, you do have the tall trees east of Beaumont, going towards the Louisiana border. Now you can stay on this road all the way to Florida if you want to. You can take Interstate 10, and Interstate 10 will take you west to California. So either way. Now I think it ends though in Arizona, and the roads are in decent shape here. The roads in Texas in general are pretty good. They're pretty maintained. Now you do have to be careful, especially traveling at night. That's why I don't like to do it on a motorcycle, is because of the animals. There's deer, there's coyotes, there's raccoons, skunks, everything else, and along the way, if you hit one of these at night, because a lot of animals do come out at night, you could end up getting into a very bad accident. I had a friend once in upstate New York. He was on his Harley, and a deer crossed the road, and he ended up totaling out his Harley. A good thing he walked away with just some scratches, and that was about it. Nothing else. But you hit an animal, you could end up severely injured or even die from it. So that's why I like going during the daytime. The worst part to travel for wildlife is just as the sun is coming up and just when it's setting. That's when you get a lot of movement out of them. If you notice on the right hand side, I just passed the sign for deer crossing. So they are out here, and they do put up signs. You'd be surprised if you do pull over on the side of the road. how many skeletal remains there are around here. Now you just saw the sign on the gantry sign that said Kerrville, San Antonio. And it's a straight run. It does have a little bit of a winding road here and the hills. But for the most part, we don't hit traffic until we're about maybe 5 to 10 miles outside the city limits of San Antonio. And I enjoy this because it is very nice scenery. You see the blue skies. Now, one of the things is I'm heading home and I'll be stopping off at a hotel. I already made reservations through hotels.com. That's what I usually use. But I do use other things such as booking.com and a few other Expedia. Whoever has the best price, that's who I go with. And I made the reservations. Like I said, I'll be stopping there for the night before pushing on from there to well, I think I broke it up for the videos from there to Corpus Christi and then Corpus to Brownsville. And I'll be doing that the next day. And I'll be doing a hotel review on the hotel that I stayed at. And that's what I usually do if I have the time or if I'm not too tired, because it is exhausting doing this type of riding and the mileage that I did. Now here I'm going to be passing the exit for Fredericksburg, and it's a very nice town. It was established by German immigrants, and if you have the time, it's very nice. I've been there a few times. It also has the War of the Pacific Museum, which is very nice, and they have a formal Japanese garden. I'm into gardening, and that's one of the things that I really like is Japanese formal gardens. I wish I had the talent for it, but I don't. I have the ambition, but I don't have the talent for that. And you can see that it's still like the traffic. So I'm getting very close to San Antonio. Now there are some other towns that you can visit out this way. One of them is Bandera. I recommend people go to Fredericksburg and go to Bandera. Bandera is a very nice town. It's small, but it has that western feel, and that's what I really love about some of the small towns. You get the feel for Texas. They're still doing things the old way, and also Bandera is in the hill country, and it's known for a lot of motorcycle traffic. Also hunting. If you're into hunting, check out Bandera. They do have hunting ranches in the area, and if that's your thing, you can go for it. And I find it very enjoyable just taking a ride and getting off the highways and taking the winding roads, and it's very nice. You see a lot of streams and small rivers when you go through that part of the country here in Texas. Now I did stop in one of the rest stops along the way, but I'm not going to be showing that because I think because of the pandemic, they're really not maintaining a lot of the rest areas. I mean, it was probably one of the worst looking rest areas in Texas that I've ever been, and I've been to quite a few, and there was a lot of trash. Texas better start doing their job. So anyway, I'm almost up to the exit for Six Flags, which will be coming up shortly, and which means that I'm almost into I'm almost into San Antonio, because Six Flags is just west of San Antonio, outside of the big loops. They have like 2 loops that go around San Antonio. I'm staying on one of the loops. The hotel that I booked is on one of the loops. So you can see the traffic advisory signs. They have the times that it takes you to get to the different exits along the way. It's a digital sign. And they do have, you can tell they have cones out in some locations. They've been working on this road for quite some time now. In a lot of places in Texas, outside the cities, like Houston especially, they have a lot of road construction because the population is growing so much, and it's the bigger the population, the more traffic you have. And here you can see the traffic is picking up. I did hit a little bit of traffic going into San Antonio, and it's going to pick up even more. But what can you do? I mean, this is the route that I have to go back home. And sometimes you have to sacrifice a little time in traffic. But for the most part, it wasn't that bad. Now, they do have signage here for the Alamo, and that's very nice to see. While you're in San Antonio, you can also visit the Riverwalk, but I wouldn't advise going to the Riverwalk at night. There's the crowd gets a little bit out of hand with the drinking. A lot of people walking around drunk. And usually when I go to San Antonio, I go with my family. And I don't want my son to see people like that walking around, being disorderly and everything. So if you're going there, I would say go around maybe dinner time, but don't go late at night, because it does change, especially if you have family members. If you're there solo, it's fine, but for me, it's not my cup of tea really, just to see that. They have some other historic locations in San Antonio. There you can go. I believe it's Commerce Street that is the main street in San Antonio. So you can walk up and down. They have malls there and things. They have a pretty good selection of restaurants. Of course, the Riverwalk is on the high side because it's a tourist thing. Now, I have gone on the boat ride that takes you along the Riverwalk. That was pretty nice. Even though it's tourist price, it's something to do with your family. And I went during the daytime. I believe I have a video on that on my channel. So if you want to check that out, you can. And you can tell the sun is going down. And I'm glad that this part of the journey is over, because like I said, when you're doing like 500 miles a day, it can become tiring, especially being exposed to the elements. I'm going to conclude this part of the journey. I'm staying at the Days Inn here in San Antonio. It's on the right hand side. Now, if you're looking for this place, it is very hard to see the sign. The trees were blocking the view of the sign, so I almost missed the turn that's coming up, but it's after the storage place. Yeah, you see right here how the trees block the sign, and it's very difficult to see. So anyway, thank you for coming along. Please click like, subscribe, share, comment down below. Have a good day, everyone.